UX is tough, not because of the work itself, but because of everything around it. The pressure, the politics, the self-doubt. Joe Natoli has been through it all, and for more than 30 years, he's been helping UXers and designers find their way through the challenges that really make or break a career. Not the wireframes or design tools, but impostor syndrome, office politics, bad bosses, and learning to stand your ground. This is Making UX Work, where he tackles the battles no boot camp, book, or conference ever prepares you for, and shows you how to come out stronger on the other side.
Okay, so this one's going to be quick, but I wanted to expand on something that I talked about at the end of the last episode. Okay, I mentioned the Buddhist concept of mindfulness, which is actually a lot simpler and a lot less mystical than people make it out to be. It's really all about being right here, right now, in this moment. Now, your brain almost always wants to jump back to the past or head to the future instead of whatever the hell's going on right now. New shit or old shit, remember? It's looking for answers. It's looking for reasons why this is happening. It's leaping into action trying to protect you from what could happen, which, in great irony, is usually based on things in the past. So it also helps to have constant reminders around you to keep yourself right here, right now, to have mechanisms to do that. This desk that I'm sitting at right now, for example, as I talk with you, is a drawing table that I've had since I was 13 years old. My dad brought it home from General Motors, where he worked. And you may have even seen it in photos. But I have reminders, quotes, I have other things, taped all over it. I've got a card in front of me, for example, that says, replace fear with truth. That's something I hand wrote on a card as a reminder. There's another card that someone gave me, it might have been my mother actually, and on the front of it, it says, now is the right time, which is part of the Buddhist Lotus Sutra. And there's another card that says, begin anywhere. And that's a quote that I love by composer John Cage. And the idea behind that one in particular is really important to me because it says that, look, there's no right place to start. Anywhere is the right place. What matters more is that you go, is that you act, is that you get going, is that you create movements. Don't just sit there, do something. By the same token, the books and the posters, and there's a Lifetime Achievement Award behind me, those things are all reminders. They're reminders of my agency, of my creativity, of my courage, of my own strength, of who I am. Wherever I am in this office or anywhere else in my house, I have things placed strategically, quite honestly, so that I see them. They're purposely placed reminders and triggers for me to come back to right here, right now. I purposely put them in my field of vision so that I see them constantly. And that's what I mean when I say practice, okay? It's not a one-time thing. It's continuously working to strengthen that muscle, reminding it how to keep bringing yourself back. And it doesn't matter how well it works or doesn't work, especially not the first time. You're not always going to be able to sort of bring yourself back from that panic or that fear or whatever it is quickly or as quickly as you'd like. It takes time. What matters is that you keep trying. What matters is that you keep practicing, which is why Buddhists call what they do a practice. You're never done. Okay? You don't reach some magic moment where nothing ever troubles you again. You practice. You keep bringing yourself back, and pretty soon, over time, it becomes more automatic. Now, here's the thing you need to be aware of. The greater the gap between the moment the event happens and you're taking either one of these actions, the more trouble you're going to get yourself into. The longer you wait to ask for clarification, the longer you wait to counter what's happening physically, the harder it's going to be to do either thing. Right? When you start digging that hole, you're going to be down pretty deep, pretty fast, especially if you wait. So your reaction has got to be instantaneous. Otherwise, your brain and your body take off without you. And once they get that momentum and that velocity, you're really going to struggle to break out of that run, okay, in order to ask for clarification. For example, this manifests itself in situations where you're thinking about saying or doing something and it goes from 5 minutes wondering, well, should I? And then pretty soon before you know what's going on, it's 2 hours later. You're walking around in circles going, I should probably really ask. Okay, well, maybe I should ask now. No, maybe wait. Well, maybe now. No, it's too late now. I should have said something before. Well, because if I ask now, I'm going to look stupid. Like they already probably think I'm stupid. Like, damn it, why didn't I ask? What's wrong with me? And so on. This is what happens. The longer this goes on, the less chance you're actually going to do it. So the countering that I'm talking about, breathing, acting, has to happen immediately.
Every UXer and product designer I've ever met eventually hits the wall. You know the wall, the one built by managers, stakeholders, or formed by internal politics. The wall that renders every method they were ever taught irrelevant or just feeling impossible. Joe Natoli has spent 35 years helping global enterprises tear that wall down. The UX 365 Academy Joe created is the missing manual for your UX career. It's the much-needed practical lessons for the world you actually work in. Stop struggling to get buy-in and start making impact. Learn more at ux365academy.com.
I do this with clients all the time, by the way, okay? I've sat with product teams where I've driven people nuts trying to get them to do the same thing. And one of my things is I look for body language. I look for facial expressions. If I'm talking, right, or we're talking about something in particular, and I see somebody whose eyebrows are doing absolutely nothing to hide their growing concern, I'll stop and I'll look at them and say, what do you need to ask right now? What's bothering you about this? Come on, out with it. Tell me, I see the face. And they'd laugh a little bit and then maybe they turn red and they'd be like, yeah, so I was just thinking that, maybe we shouldn't. And now we get somewhere because in most cases, they're voicing a concern that half of the room has as well. But just like that person, everybody's too afraid to say it. So you got to come out with it now. It has to happen right now. The second that doubt starts, the very second that fear whispers in your ear, that is the time to act. And here's something else I want you to hear and understand and accept and internalize. It's really, really important. This is not about your significant other. It's not about your family member. This isn't about your asshole boss. It's not about all these other people in the room during this meeting. This is about you. Which means your first priority in moments of fear, in moments of panic, is you, not them. Your first priority is not answering the question or the demand that's been asked of you. Your first priority every single time is calming yourself down, bringing yourself back to center. Everyone and everything else can fucking wait. Now, that may feel like a selfish point of view, but it's not. For people like us who are very good at beating the shit out of ourselves in an instant, it is a critical necessity. It is a necessary act of self-preservation. So as long as you're not being rude to anybody, as long as you're not being hurtful or cruel or demeaning or disrespectful, there is nothing wrong with making it a point to stake out a claim for yourself the minute you're feeling like, oh shit, this fear is running away with me. Okay? You have every right in the world to come out and say, look, I really need some clarification on this because I'm not sure what you mean and I'm not sure what you're reacting to. Can you explain it to me, or give me more detail? And you keep asking until you get what you need. If no one is present, if it's a situation you're dealing with alone, you lean on a mantra like the one I gave you earlier. It literally could be anything that works for you, any phrase, any word, any action. There doesn't have to be a rhyme or reason for what you choose, okay? It doesn't even have to mean anything or be pertinent to the situation. It just has to be something that brings you back to the present, right here, right now. The first part of this, again, is physically trying to counter what's happening in some way, whether that's opening your mouth or whether it's saying something to yourself in your head, like a mantra, again, like something you repeat. Like we talked about last time, you can use 2 words that I use. Wait. Breathe. Practicing this is the first and possibly most important step because the biological, physiological part of your reaction is the part that happens fastest in milliseconds. Like I said, it's instinctual. You've gotten very used to a pattern of behavior. Your body knows how to do this. It's like, oh yeah, we're good at this. So in those moments, it just kicks off without you, which again is why you start at the most basic level to deal with it, which is finding a way to check that impulse, whatever way that is. Could be physical. I know people who snap rubber bands on their wrist lightly. I think that comes from a non-smoking exercise of some sort. I know people who still carry fidget spinners. Remember those? For a lot of years, I had a smooth rock I carried in my pocket. It's an Irish worry stone that my friend Amy gave me a long time ago. And I would rub the concave side of it to counteract that rising stress, which happens to be what it's for in the first place. All right, but it could be anything. Whatever helps, whatever works for you. I don't care what it is, and I don't care if you're doing it in front of other people either. Doesn't matter, because again, it is not about them. It's about you living a better life where you're not kicking your own ass at every conceivable opportunity. And the first part of that, again, is finding a way to check that impulse and bring yourself back to where you are right now. Stop trying to preempt danger that isn't really there. Stop that voice screaming in your ear, how do I get a handle on this before it fucking goes south? When nothing's even happened yet. Forget about what you think this is. Forget about what you think it means. Forget about what it could or might be. Fuck all that. And focus on what's going on right now in front of you at face value.
You've been listening to Making UX Work with Joe Natoli. Honest talk about the hidden challenges that shape a design career. See you next time. And until then, onward and upward.